more variety.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Good afternoon and welcome to the Citi Prime News live from our studio at number 11. Dr. Morton Loop in Adabraka here in Accra. My name is Inosafo and this afternoon I'm here with
Charles Owusukumi. Coming
up, Ghana's oil revenues for first half of the year sees a significant dip, reducing from $731 million to $540 million. Also coming up, industry players renew calls for inefficiencies in the energy sector to be addressed as independent power producers meet to determine the next line of action after government failed to settle debts owed to them.
We have so much inefficiency in the sector, which we have been complaining about. Not much effort has been in place to actually reduce the inefficiency.
Still ahead in the bulletin, Lands and Natural Resources Ministry intensifies security operations in the Savannah region to ward off illegal miners in a bid to save the Black Volta.
We organized a RESEC immediately to zero into the place. They did recce, and the report that we received, they have been able to arrest some one or two people.
And later, we'll tell you about how the once beautiful Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange, known as Circle Dubai, became a den of squatters and destitutes. All that and more on the Citi Prime News, which is live on our partner stations across the country. In the Western region, we're live on Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi, Beach 105.5 FM also in Takoradi. In the Bunu region, we're live on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're live on Akpene Radio 96.7 FM in Pando, Heritage 107.3 FM in Hohoi. In the Northern region, we're live on Dasuma 99.1 FM in Yendi. In the Upper East region, Word 88.3 FM in Zwarungu. In the Upper West region, we're live on Westlink 88.1 FM in Lora. And in the Northeast region, we're live on Eagle 94.1 FM in Wale Wale. The news is also live across the globe on citynewsroom.com, Citi 97.3 FM on Facebook, and CityTube on YouTube.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for choosing us this hour. Let's settle for the details of our stories. About $540 million has accrued to Ghana in petroleum receipts in the first half of 2023. This is according to the Petroleum Holding Fund report released by the Bank of Ghana on the fund's performance. The amount is however about 38% drop compared to the $731 million recorded in the first half of 2022. Here is a further breakdown.
The report was released pursuant to Section 28 of the Petroleum Revenue Management Act 2011 Act 815. It outlined crude oil liftings of Ghana and the allocation to the Ghana Petroleum Funds. Per the data from the semi-annual report by the Bank of Ghana, there was a difference of about $191 million as against the $731 million earned in the first 6 months of 2022. The total petroleum revenue receipt comprised proceeds from oil liftings, corporate tax and surface rental, as well as interest on the Petroleum Fund account. The report, which is for the first year ended June 30, 2023, showed that proceeds from oil liftings amounted to $370 million, corporate tax contributed $166 million, while surface rental totaled $3 million. Already, the petroleum revenue distributed in the period under review are as follows: Ghana Stabilization Fund $71 million and Ghana Heritage Fund $30 million, totaling about $101 million. By law, the Bank of Ghana is to receive and disburse petroleum revenue for the country. Also, not more than 70% of the benchmark revenue shall be paid into the annual budget funding amount and not less than 30% paid into the Ghana Petroleum Funds. Out of the transferable amount into the petroleum funds, the Ghana Heritage Fund receives not less than 30%, with the remainder transferred into the Ghana Stabilization Fund.
That was a news desk report on the Petroleum Funds report for the first half of 2023, as released by the Bank of Ghana.
Now, as independent power producers, IPPs prepare to meet this afternoon over rising energy debt, industry players have renewed calls for inefficiencies in the sector to be addressed. The IPPs are holding a crucial emergency meeting after government failed to settle the arrears. The debt has increased from $2 billion to about $2.3 billion, prompting today's emergency meeting to find strategies over the non-payments. But energy think tank Africa Center for Energy Policy, ACEP, makes the point that government's lack of commitment to fixing energy sector leakages is alarming. Benjamin Boache is executive director of ACEP, and he has been speaking to Citi Business News.
I think it's multiple factors. We have so much inefficiency in the sector, which we have been complaining about. Not much effort has been in place to actually reduce the inefficiencies in the sector. And by inefficiencies, you're only talking about how much goes to waste because of aged equipment and transformers, as well as how much power is stolen by some consumers who don't actually pay for the power they consume, and also the revenue collection effort, those who are actually billed by ECG, but they are not able to collect revenues for it. So those are some of the areas that generate the waste and the inefficiency. So we need to find ways to address that, to make sure the power generated can be consumed and actually paid for by the consumer.
That was Benjamin Boache, the Executive Director of Africa Center for Energy Policy.
Now, the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry says it has intensified security operations in the Savannah region to ward off illegal miners and prevent further pollution of the Black Volta. The ministry is concerned about the effects the pollution of the Black Volta can have on critical infrastructure like the Bui and Akosombo hydro dams. Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister George Mrikuduka tells journalists security operations have been strengthened in the area to protect the Black Volta.
We organized a RESEC immediately to zero into the place. They did recce, and the report that we received, they have been able to arrest some one or two people. Lots of champagne machines were burnt or decommissioned. And we've also tasked the Operation Hall 2 to be patrolling. As at yesterday, we had a helicopter that was going along the banks of the Black Volta. And we're believing that it will be secured with the effort that we put in place. I may not be able to put across our modus operandi, but I can reassure Ghanaians that we are in touch with the security agencies and we'll make sure that Black Volta is protected.
Mr. Dukas spoke during the launch of community mining schemes at Musiasua Brancie, Banco Camp, and Yokrom Asaman in the Amansia West District in the Ashanti region. He added that the ministry continues to formulate policies to regulate the mining sector and should not be entirely blamed for the destruction caused to the environment.
The degradation of our environment is really bad situation as far as the mining industry is concerned, and we have been advocating that how do we get these things resolved. For example, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources is to formulate policies, give some guidelines as to how we can mine. It is not our responsibility even to arrest. And sometimes when blame is given to us, if I don't have authority over military, neither do I have authority over police. It's not under my jurisdiction. My jurisdiction, our duty, is to formulate policies. So if arrests have been made, it must be channeled accordingly. But we are in it together. We are one government, and we'll try our best as to how best we can coordinate to get some of these illegal miners arrested, to bring it to the barest minimum. However, it is the collective responsibility of all Ghanaians to ensure that we clamp down these recalcitrants and don't ever think that government alone can ever resolve this. It must be the general consensus kind of effort to, in a way, addressing this canker. And I believe going forward, with the measures we are putting in place as a government, we will overcome this challenge.
That was the Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister, George Mrikuduka.
The Supreme Court has dismissed an application by James Jachikwesin seeking to quash a decision of the High Court not to allow further disclosures in the criminal trial he is facing. The lawyers filed a certiorari application on grounds that the trial judge erred when she denied them an application to direct the Attorney General's office to make further disclosures. His lawyers contended that the judge erred because his application was not heard. He further argued that the judge took the decision by relying on a document produced by the Attorney General, which was not deposed to by an affidavit. The court, after considering the arguments from the two parties, dismissed the applications as without merit.
Over 500,000 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine have been administered in the ongoing vaccination exercise. About 1/3 of the recipients were first-timers. According to the Ghana Health Service, over 4 million persons were yet to receive any dose of the vaccine, informing the need to get more people vaccinated to achieve herd immunity. Programs Manager for the expanded program on immunization, Dr. Kwame Amponsa-Achiano, shares details of the just-ended vaccination exercise.
Yes, the vaccination exercise went quite well, very, very well, incident-free. So far, we've received reports from all the regions. They are still updating though, and the exercise, as I would say, in our estimation, has been very successful. Not exactly reaching our 1 million target, but we had over almost 73%, so that is quite good in our estimation. You recall that even though the emergency has been declared over, the pandemic rages on, and the whole world is gravitating towards including COVID-19 vaccination as part of routine immunization. In other words, integrating, so that it becomes an adult vaccine, just as we have the childhood vaccine. Of course, for the next 2 years or so, until we are sure that the disease is nipped in the bud. So we will definitely be doing routine vaccination, but of course, from time to time, we'll be doing what we call periodic intensification of vaccination, just as we've been doing since January 2022. And so, to answer your question, yes, we'll continue to do this, but not immediately. It will be from time to time.
Okay. But, Doctor, in the interim, if someone needs a COVID vaccination, are they available?
Surely, yes. It's available in the facilities. And you recall again that during our interaction with you, the media, we indicated that beyond the campaign, there's still the opportunity to get vaccinated. And so it's still available. We still have vaccines in the districts, in the regions. We even have vaccines at the national level.
You heard the program manager for the expanded program on immunization, Dr. Kwame Amponsa-Achiano.
Now, the Adisadel College student who was seen in a viral video strangling a colleague in a dormitory has been arrested by the Cape Coast Police. He was later released to the headmaster of the school and is expected to appear in court on Friday. Meanwhile, management of Adisadel College is expected to present results of its investigation of the incident to the Education Ministry today.
The National Union of Ghana Students is advocating for punitive measures to be taken against the student of Adisadel College captured in a video assaulting a fellow student. The union, however, says the punitive measures must not affect the educational journey of the student. Nooks says the conduct of the student is disappointing, but the actions against him should be intended at reformation. The Attorney General has already directed the police to investigate the Adisadel College assault and arraign suspects. Speaking to Citi News, General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students, Joshua Ope, said the suspects in the Adisadel assault incident should be given a right to education, even though they deserve to be punished.
We have already even engaged their management as well in trying to make sure that we push forward the conversations of rightful punishment and equally come across the Attorney General's decision to pursue the case legally. We would want to give them that benefit of the doubt to do all those things in the remit of ensuring that whatever punishment is meted out actually fits into the various or key things that we look forward in a punishment. But key amongst them is definitely, we would always mention reformation, because we think that, the fact that a wrong has been done, definitely, it doesn't mean that we should throw away reformation. Reformation is a key aspect of every single side of our punishment process or the justice process. And so we are always drawing the attention of all the agents to reformation. We think that the punishment should be reformative. It should be something that it fits into the whole conversation about deterrence, because definitely we don't want it to happen again. We don't want anybody to be at the receiving end of such an act. But as much as we wouldn't want to, we equally wouldn't want it to be an end to the life of the people involved. We think that it should equally be like a starting point for them, a point where they realize that, you can have a new beginning where you don't have this mindset of bullying, or where you don't ever involve yourself in putting someone in such a situation.
Joshua Ope also dismissed claims by teacher unions that discipline has broken down in schools as a result of teachers' power being stripped away from them.
When you ask them about where exactly is the power or what authority has taken away from them, it's about the issues of, okay, so they are no more being allowed to cane students. They are no more allowed to administer some level of corporal punishment to the students. And people would say that, you would have to definitely be found like caning students or be found putting students through some level of punishment that actually doesn't augur well for their educational processes. And so that's like the general issue for which they are saying that, the authority is taken away. Because when you go into our institutions, the leaders or the authority is still in the hands of the teachers. That's why when you go to Adisadel College, the housemaster and all those kind of teachers who are involved in the chain of command are being asked to step aside, because it tells you that there is still that level of authority in the hands of the teachers. And so I would be very disappointed if they would probably just say that, the authority is being taken away from them because they are not being allowed to administer maybe a level of proper punishment to the students. Because we all understand that at this particular, in this particular era, you don't necessarily have to be falling on corporal punishment as like your primary source of punishing students. In a time when you would have like various forms of punishment that you can equally like administer and make sure that you're able to achieve this reformation and all those things.
Joshua Ope is General Secretary of the National Union of Ghana Students. This is still the Citi Prime News live on 97.3 Citi FM. Still ahead, some farmers in 3 local assembly areas of the Upper East region face significant losses as their farmlands have been invaded by fall army worms. We'll bring you the details of that and many other stories shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Get ready to witness a remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This is Ghana Exhibition 2023. Citi TV and Citi FM will allow you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. Join us at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 26th and the 27th of August 2023 at 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. Call us now on 0205 973 973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This Is Ghana exhibition is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM and proudly sponsored by MTN Momo and Nalo Solutions, making it happen.
Whether I'm passing by the food market, visiting the salon, or filling up my tank for a spontaneous adventure with old friends in a new city, when asked, cash or card, it's always card for me. I switched from cash to card for all my payments with MasterCard. Now I get to do what I enjoy with ease.
Switch from cash to card for all your payments with MasterCard. MasterCard, the secure and convenient way to pay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Many thanks for staying with us. Let's do some more stories. The Association of Bullion Operators in Ghana is appealing to the security agencies to put strict measures in place to prevent further attacks on its members. This appeal follows a recent alleged plot to rob a bullion van owned by the Golden Team Mining Company at Ahafo Shudiem in the Ahafo region, where 6 persons, including 3 soldiers, are standing trial. President of the association, Alhaji Idi Sumaila, spoke to Citi News.
Crime is bound to happen if security measures are not properly put in place, and that's how it is. But I would like to also understand if people have been arrested, 3 of whom are military men. That is where I'm really alarmed, and I'll urge the military high command to try and put measures in place in ensuring that their activities doesn't lead to the erosion of public confidence in the hierarchy. We have migrated to the usage of the armored bullion vans. So generally, I believe that bullion van attacks might reduce considerably. But that is not to say that we can wipe out completely attacks on bullion vans. Other measures are being put in place, of course, which are security sensitive. We have had engagements with the security agencies. We are also engaging the banks. And even in the case of the mining companies, we are trying to engage with the Mineral Commission to see what measures can be put in place towards making sure that movements of bullion vans are well coordinated across the country, especially at mining sites, to be able to reduce crime to its barest minimum.
Alhaji Idi Sumaila is the president of the Association of Bullion Van Operators in Ghana.
Some farmers in 3 local assembly areas of the Upper East region are facing significant losses as their farmlands have been invaded by 4 armyworms. The infestation, which was first recorded in Nabdam district, has spread to the Busa South district and Kasina Nankana municipality. According to farmers in these areas, they are struggling to contain the infestation and are calling for support to fight against the armyworms. Authorities in the region say chemicals have been received from the government to support farmers in combating the insects.
The Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana is calling on government to increase the allowances paid to its members. This follows the reduction in allowances paid to teacher trainees. Speaking to Citi News, President of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, Jephthah Nanakwame, said the current economic challenges makes it incumbent on government to increase the allowances.
The allowance itself is 400 cedis in all, but the component that comes to trainee was the 200 cedis, as principals also have their feeding components from that same allowance. So if I'm to even go deep, I would say that the allowance itself has not been reduced. However, the component that comes to trainees is what has been reduced and added to the component that goes to principals as feeding components. Generally, trainees are not happy about it because the 200 cedis that we used to receive was not even enough. In present day Ghana, as you talk about the economic status of the country right now, 200 cedis is not enough. However, we were managing. So to come and hear of a reduction of the 200 cedis, making us get 149 as it stands now, is a big blow to us. And like I mentioned, we were even anticipating that the government would even increase the allowance. So I'd like to even take this opportunity to appeal to the government on behalf of all trainees, over 69,000 members of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana, that it would be very better off for the government to increase the allowance for at least 600 cedis, which will in turn supplement the fee and even add a little to what we receive already.
Jephthah Nana Kwame is president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana.
Let's now do some politics. NDC flag bearer John Dramani Mahama says he will beat any candidates the NPP presents in the 2024 election. According to the former president, the track record of the NPP makes him and the NDC favorites to win the 2024 polls. Speaking on Pan-African TV, John Mahama explained why he is the best candidate to lead Ghanaians.
The first thing to note is that they are all going to run on the legacy of Nana Akufo-Addo. They are all inheritors of the mess that they've created for Ghanaians. And so they're not running on any new record. I don't see who is going to be more difficult than the other. We're just waiting for them. Let them choose. It's their prerogative to choose. And when they choose, then we will engage. I don't think any of them would be more difficult than the other. They themselves are going to cut 5 out. I hear there's going to be some super delegates, something, and they'll cut 5 out of it. And then after that, there'll be 5 left. And so we'll see who those 5 are. And eventually we'll see who emerges and we'll engage. But I'm certain that whichever of them they bring before us will win the election. So we're taking all the right steps. I get a feeling that was missing before, that our people have the edge to win. And so you can tell that, no, you could see that, I mean, they were going through the motions and they'll do what they have to do. But this time you can see they have a hunger to win. And that was accentuated by Asin North.
John Mahama adds that he has a lot more to offer the people of Ghana, hence his desire to run for presidency again.
You don't want to withhold whatever you have from your country. I am a person who went to school in Ghana. My party needs my services. I didn't say endorse me. I said if it's your wish that I run, elect me. And the experience that I've garnered, I'll put at the service of my party and my country. And if Ghanaians think that the experience and expertise I have in this time of crisis can turn things around, yes, I'm available to do it. And there are times when generals have been called from retirement to come back because their nations are in battle. We're in battle this time. The mess into which this administration has plunged this country, it needs all qualified people in Ghana to be able to do it. And I keep telling them, you can't do it alone because you don't have all the intelligence and experience in your heads. You need every Ghanaian to be able to succeed. And that's why in my time, I didn't behave like I knew it all. When we were facing economic crisis, I called the Senchi Forum. And we called people of all walks of life. Everybody came and talked. PV Obeng of blessed memory, Kwesi Botwe of blessed memory, all of them helped to synthesize that report into eventually what we took as the homegrown fiscal consolidation to the IMF and got a program.
A deputy that was flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama.
An aspiring MPP presidential candidate, Ken Ejapon, is pushing for students to be equipped with the necessary skills to engage in the manufacture of machines in Ghana. This was contained in a post by the businessman who is seeking to become president of Ghana. Kennedy Ejapon, who is number 1 on the ballot for the upcoming NPP presidential primary slated for August 26, is going against 9 other contestants. Here are excerpts of his statement.
Students should be equipped to manufacture machines in this country. When we were young, KNUST manufactured a car called Boafo. By now, we should have improved on it and have advanced cars in this country. What happened? We killed it. I was discussing with the VW general manager. He told me he employed most of the guys from Kumasi Magazine and Accra, those we call fitter mechanics, and they are building their engines. We need to encourage people in magazine and going around. I've seen guys with talent. They build things, but they do not have the push. We have to identify such people and give them a push.
You heard excerpts of the statement by Kennedy Ejapon, read by Citi News' Kweku Ediama Ansa.
Now, a member of parliament for Ejiso in the Ashanti region, Dr. John Kumar, has debunked reports suggesting that he has seized land belonging to a family in his constituency. A family widely circulated a video accusing the Deputy Finance Minister of forcibly taking over their lands in the area. But in a statement on the event, Dr. John Kumar explained that he sought the permission of the chief for a piece of land for the construction of a plant to solve challenges with roads in the locality. Here are excerpts of that statement.
As many of you are aware, during my campaign to become the MP for Ejiso, I made a solemn promise to the people that I would establish an asphaltic plant to address the road deficiencies in the constituency. To realize this vision and create job opportunities, the Ejiso Club 100 was established to collaborate with So Good Engineering and Construction Company to undertake this project, among several others. In the pursuit of fulfilling this commitment, I approached my family chief, Nana Kofi Ejay, for a piece of land for the construction of the asphaltic plant, which he gifted to me in the presence of the other family members after the Aseda custom were followed. In response to the claims, I have already taken the necessary steps by reporting the matter to the Ejiso Police Service for the arrest of the individuals involved. I have also notified the family chief of the very distasteful actions of the individuals involved for the necessary customary actions to be taken against them. As is evident in the video, there are no private houses built on the land, but rather heavy-duty vehicles, quarters of workers working on the asphaltic plant, equipment for the asphaltic plant, among several others. It is very disheartening that in my quest to address a major challenge in the constituency, I have rather been attacked and vilified for an act I have not taken. I would like to urge the public to disregard the content of the video and admonish the media of the defamatory comments in the video and their exposure to legal actions if it is believed that they are deliberately spreading the content of the video.
Those were excerpts of a statement released by Deputy Finance Minister and Member of Parliament for Ejiso, Dr. John Kumar, read by Citi News' Gabi Ofe.
Away from that, the Chief Justice, Gertrude Tokonu, has refused a request by the third accused person in the trial involving minority leader Ato Forson for the case to be transferred from the court presided over by Justice Efiasewa Asaribuchi. The request to the Chief Justice followed an incident in the courtroom where the accused, Richard Jakpa, was nearly denied a request to use the washroom. Dissatisfied with the position of the judge when he made the request, Mr. Jakpa applied to the Chief Justice to reassign the case to another judge. But in a letter read in court on Thursday, the Chief Justice refused the request. Meanwhile, an application by the minority leader for the judge to recuse herself on grounds of bias is yet to be considered.
Still, the Supreme Court has raised concerns about the continuous absence of James Jatukwesen at the Apex Court when he files applications. At the start of proceedings, the court observed that Jatukwesen was absent. Chief Justice Gertrude Tokonu then noted that she has observed a pattern where the Asin North MP files an application and does not appear on the date of hearing of the application. She then questioned the lawyer, Justin Tareweja, on the whereabouts of his client. Tareweja, who could not provide any answer, apologized to the court.
Away from the courts, members of the Ghana Physician Assistants Association have intensified their strike by withdrawing emergency services at health centers across the country in protest against the proposed amendment of Act 857, which will subject the profession of physician assistants to the direction and supervision of a medical doctor. The physician assistants on Monday withdrew their services at OPDs to get authorities to address their concerns. Speaking to Citi News, President of the Ghana Physician Assistants Association, Peter Ayamba, says they will withdraw all services next week if their concerns are not addressed.
Our roadmap, we are supposed to withdraw emergency services as well. Maybe other inpatient, especially for those who are doing inpatient. Not many of our people are doing inpatient because a lot of them are at the health centers. Those who are at the hospitals, some are doing district hospitals, some are doing inpatient. So they may still continue with the inpatient and maybe other administrative responsibilities until Monday. If our issues are not addressed, then we'll do total withdrawal. The total OPD services have been withdrawn, including emergency response. So at the OPD, what we do is to, usually we are at the consulting room to see the patients or the clients that will come, take their history, do investigations, and treat them accordingly. Those that needs to be referred to will be referred appropriately. Technically, if you look at physician assistants in certain jurisdictions, yes, the physician assistant is supposed to work with the doctor. And in fact, in other jurisdictions, provide supervision. But in our situation, physician assistants work independently of themselves. The reason may be the inadequacy of the medical doctors to be able to work with us. So they practice all this while, and for the past 40 years that the physician assistantship have been in practice, they have been working independently without any supervision, without any assistance from the medical officers. Because of the law and the fact that there has been a newly devolved SOP or scope of practice for physician assistants, for which we see that it seeks to take away our autonomy and also limit our scope of practice, is one of the reasons why we are where we are now. We seek to get the proposed amendment of the bill withdrawn.
That was the president of the Ghana Physician Assistants Association, Peter Ayamba.
The Ghana Nurses and Midwife Trainees Association is urgently calling on the government to address the critical matter of their unpaid allowances, which spans a period of over a year. The association says the prolonged delay has exacerbated the hardships faced by the trainees who depend on the allowances for their education and well-being. Speaking to Citi News, president of the association, Pascal Adumbisa, said it is imperative that the government swiftly addresses their issues as the situation is taking a toll on them.
For over a year now, cleaners and midwives have not received even a stipend for the allowance. We received allowance in March. That was 3 months. And these 3 months that came in March was for 2022, not 2023. 2021, they made payment for September, October, and November. But June and December for 2021 were not paid. That's for those who just completed. And then for the current students who are on campus, that 3 months that were paid was supposed to be for 2022. And the whole of 2022, they have not been payment except that it's paid this 2023 March. The allowance plays a crucial role for the trainees and midwives. That it supports them in their clinical field, because as at other professions where you would have opportunity during your vacations to fend for yourself, to get stipends, to cushion yourself whilst on campus, trainees and midwives are always engaged throughout at the hospitals for their practicum. So this money that they receive as allowances are used as stipends for their transportation in and out, because they run shift in the morning, afternoon, night. Then others too have to even rent, they see the food they eat, and without this money, it's causing a lot of financial burdens and constraints on the trainees and midwives. And then those who have even completed and have not received their allowances so that they could fend for themselves. Trainees and midwives, they contribute about 40% of health delivery to this country. They risk their life. They are prone to the same disease conditions that are prone to a qualified professional nurse. Appealing to government as well as other stakeholders, try his best possible to give us what to do them.
Pascal Adumbisa is the national president of the Ghana Nurses and Midwife Trainees Association.
Now, despite earlier struggles to meet monthly revenue targets in the first quarter of the year 2023, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority says it has begun exceeding its monthly targets. The Commissioner of Customs Division, who expressed optimism about meeting their annual target by the end of the year, says the necessary measures which have been put in place to smoothen the process is yielding positive results. The Commissioner of Customs Division, Alhaji Seidu Idrisu Idisa, spoke to Citi News on the sidelines of the Second National Delegates Congress and Provident Fund Annual General Meeting in Koforidua.
Between January and April, in particular, we couldn't meet our monthly targets. it was the monthly targets that we're talking about. Customs division could not meet their monthly target between January and May. April ending. But from May, we started. We started meeting the target and exceeding it. But normally, for customs, but DTRD was doing very well within that same period. They were able to, collect more than their target. So as a whole in GRA, we exceeded the target for that period. But I was talking to them as customs officers, and I was telling them that we were behind. The Commissioner General later on said, at one point we were behind by about 4 billion. But because we started doing well from May, it has gone down now to less than 3 billion. But I was also explaining to them, and that is a fact, that in customs, normally we collect duties on goods. And after Christmas, imports normally gets down. So, that's the reason why in almost all the years, we don't meet the first quarter targets. But it starts picking up, when we get into the middle of the year. And then we collect and normally pay back all what we missed the first quarter.
Commissioner Idrisu Idisa, who also indicated that porous borders continue to remain a major challenge to their work, says collaborative engagements with other border agencies and deployment of modern technology will mitigate the challenge.
Porous borders will continue to be a challenge because I always tell people that borders, by their nature, there will always be some element of porosity, but ours is a little big. Because what happened is that especially in Africa here, borders were drawn, between even sometimes houses. So you see your uncle staying at the other side, they say now he's in Togo, and your brother is here, your father is here, you is in Ghana. That alone means that people will be crossing, because traditionally we have that. And then the seas are there. Borders are not only made up of the land. The seas are there, and now the air too is also part of the borders. So there are people who can use all sort of means to cross the borders, either by boat or by motorbikes or by walking. And they can be coming in themselves as a threat to a nation, because terrorists can do that. They can be bringing their elements of terror. That is, even if a terrorist is coming, he may not be carrying the gun. The gun will have been hidden in some goods that are coming in through either, sometimes, let's say, a car can be coming carrying tomatoes, and under it there are guns. It will take some intelligence and IA to be able to do, because you can't tell them to bring back the whole truck tomatoes before you see. So these are the sources of the porous borders. So we always have to come out with what sort of strategies to address them. Some of the strategies include joint collaboration between the border agencies. We do a lot of collaboration. So you don't need the fact that you are a migration officer and somebody is carrying goods. Yes, the person, you have the mandate to arrest him and then bring him forward.
You heard the Commissioner for Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Alhaji Seidu Idrisu Idisa. Now addressing the service commanders and delegates, the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Amoah, stressed on the importance of sharing timely information to strengthen the gains made so far.
For the efforts that you have put in, there are more opportunities for us to be able to increase the revenue. The chairman, the relationship between us and the other agencies, third-party organizations for information sharing and border security in Ghana is crucial for effectiveness regarding the country's borders and preventing illegal activities such as smuggling, arms trafficking, drug trafficking, terrorism, and the like. It will also help our local industries. For example, when we are able to prevent smuggling and therefore hampering the effectiveness or the success of local industries and local production. And therefore, I am urging all of you and my own self as well to work together and to ensure that wherever information is needed, wherever information is shared, we will not only share it, but analyze it and make sure that it leads to efficiency, effectiveness, and more revenue for us. I am very confident that the success that we have achieved so far will continue, and I count on all of you for continuous success.
You heard the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Amishadai Owusu-Amoah. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News, live on 97.3 Citi FM. Still to come, we'll tell you about how the once beautiful Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange known as Circle Dubai became a den for squatters and destitutes. Do stay.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
1xBet jackpot is here with weekly massive prizes up for grabs. All you have to do is place your bets on any sports game and stand a chance to win. Simply register at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code JackpotGhana and place your bets. 1xBet is your key to great victories. Feel like a winner. 1xBet. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Get ready to witness a remarkable fair to showcase the rich diversity, talent, innovation, and mastery of made in Ghana products and services with the This Is Ghana Exhibition 2023. Citi TV and Citi FM will allow you to immerse yourself in a vibrant showcase of authentic Ghanaian products and services in the biggest trade fair and exhibition for local SMEs, startups, research and manufacturing industries, homegrown businesses, and indigenous corporate bodies Ghana has ever seen. We shall promote, support, and patronize various Ghanaian products, solutions, and services that are redefining the views on indigenous products and their packaging across all sectors. Join us at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly on the 26th and the 27th of August 2023 at 10 a.m. through till 5 p.m. each day. Call us now on 0205-973-973 for inquiries on how to participate. The This Is Ghana exhibition is powered by Citi TV and Citi FM and proudly sponsored by MTN Momo and Nalo Solutions, making it happen.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Let's go to the eastern region where, following the recent upsurge in the theft of ECG transformers there, a civil engineer, Abdullahi Mahama, is urging management of the power distribution company to consider suspending transformers at a certain height to help address the challenge. More than 8 transformers have so far been tampered with and copper windings taken away by criminals within 2 weeks in the eastern region. In an interview with Citi News on this worrying trend, engineer Abdullahi Mahama called on management of ECG to secure their transformers.
Some of the transformers, others are major and others are mini. You see some of them which are hanging in between 2 poles at a certain height from the ground. Let's say 2 meters away from the ground. They are reachable. People can easily reach on them and then take them out. But if they are suspended at a certain height where you would need your ECG vehicles and then the ladder to actually be on the hoist and then work on them in the air. Anytime somebody is seen on the poles at a very questionable time without the ECG branded vehicles and maybe uniforms and stuff like that, they can easily be identified as possibly a possible theft. Okay. Now the ones which are actually kept on the ground, some of them you see that they are just cording off the place with some barbed wires. What they can do is that they have to secure the place by actually erecting very strong poles with the barbed wires reinforced properly and with a gate which is overly secured with locks at a height that, like I said, if you want to come and access the place, you can't do that at any odd time because some of them are actually bolted on the ground. They can also have some casing where they will case them into those proper locks and then get them properly secured by providing safe locks and then cording off all the place with their metal gratings.
Abdullahi Mahama is a civil engineer.
The Kwame Nkrumah Circle interchange, inaugurated in November 2016 and once hailed as Ghana's Dubai, is now in a sorry state as traders and squatters take over the enclave, causing disorderliness in the area. Citi News' Christopher Kevin Asima has more in this report read by Enosafu.
The interchange, a 3-tier structure constructed to replace the congested Kwame Nkrumah Circle in the heart of Accra, was a response to the escalating traffic congestion issues with over 84,000 vehicles passing through the arterial roads and intersections daily. However, the $260 million iconic interchange has lost its former glory as posters of church crusades, advertising materials, and political aspirants deface its structure. Underneath the bridge, migrants from neighboring countries, along with beggars, drug addicts, and destitutes, have encroached upon the space, erasing the once glamorous image that earned it the nickname Dubai. Attempts to deter occupation of the area, such as placing mini boulders, have proven ineffective as people continue to use it as a resting place both during the afternoon and at night. Adding to the woes, numerous streetlights and decorative illuminations that once lit up the area at night are now either broken or non-functional. In response to the situation, Samuel Ni Ejeteria, the municipal chief executive of the Kwale Klote Municipal Assembly, acknowledged the problem and explained that the assembly had made temporary compromises.
Initially, we started having some problems because of the machines there or the equipment there were not maintained properly. But we have found the right people to service it, and that is being done. So, and then the lighting system too were all changed. I don't know if, as we speak now, some of them have gone on, but yes, that was also sorted out. You know, the pedestrian shopping mall was burned down by fire, so the traders in the market came outside to sell on the streets. Ourselves and the regional RCC was able to clear the debris from the inside of the markets, and then we brought a lot of chippings, etc., to level the place up for them to sell. But continuously, they keep coming to the streets. Although we've asked them all to go back into the markets, we've made compromises in certain areas, and Circle is one of them. Not the whole of Circle, but certain parts of Circle, we've allowed them to come and stay by the wall and sell. And then eventually when the market is rebuilt, obviously, they will go back in there. But it's been back and forth. We make sure they go back in. But then, you see, the municipality where we are, we have so many of such things. Then we move on to other areas to make sure they also go back into the markets, etc. Before we realize they come back outside again. So this time around, we believe the arrangements that we have reached with them, because it's more or less a compromise, and they get to use part of the frontage of the market. We believe probably this will work this time around. People that sleep on the streets in general, we move them on. We move them on. With those that are mentally challenged, it's a problem because those we move them on, they may go to the next assembly, and it is something that is beyond us. We don't have the capacity or the capabilities to look after them adequately, and there are agencies that are responsible for that.
They are currently engaging with relevant stakeholders to find a solution. The Assembly has implemented several measures to restore order to the area and plans to replicate the beautification efforts done at the African Union roundabouts in the Kwame Nkrumah interchange area.
That report was filed by Citi News' Christopher Kevin Asima and read by Enosafo.
Away from that, the Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram, Sam Nate George, has dismissed a demand for an apology from the Executive Council of the Ghana Real Estate Developers Association. The NDC MP is reported to have made comments on a TV program to the effect that real estate sector is a haven for money laundering. But in a reply on Wednesday, Sam George said the comments were based on the truth.
Now, the Ghana Health Service says it has put measures in place to ensure unborn babies do not die from a health condition known as asphyxia. Statistics from the service shows that 50,000 unborn babies die annually from the condition. Speaking to Citi News, the Deputy Director in charge of Reproductive and Child Health of the service, Dr. Chris Fofie, says he believes these measures will go a long way in eradicating the menace.
Unfortunately, some of them die from this condition, and we think that is unacceptable. So we, as the Ghana Health Service, precisely the Family Health Division, we have a strategy where we're supporting all facilities to be able to improve care at the point of delivery. It's the whole package, right? Starting from antenatal to maximize care and identify risk factors there at the antenatal. But at the point of delivery, that's where neonatal resuscitation becomes paramount. So what that means is that if we're able to provide them with the care at the point of delivery, if they have secretions in the nose, clear it. If they need some support in terms of bagging, face masks and bagging, we provide that. If they need oxygen, we do that. When you put all this in, a lot of them can recover, and that is good. So these are some of the immediate things that we are doing, strengthening neonatal resuscitation and the care.
That was the Deputy Director in charge of Reproductive and Child Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Chris Fufie.
Now, the Small Scale Miners Association has expressed optimism about the announcement by the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry that it has created over 7,000 jobs at Musiaso Abranse in the Manson Kwanta district of the Ashanti region. Speaking to Citi News, the General Secretary of the Small Scale Miners Association, Godwin Amma, further impressed on stakeholders to ensure continuous monitoring to deepen sustainable mining in the communities.
It's something that can be done. As I've said, when you look at the various aspects, direct and indirect, I'm telling you that one concession can contain as much as 700 ghettos. If you have each ghetto, about 15 people works within the ghetto. Those who will go out and bring it. When you finish, we need the millers, those who will mill it, and then those who will sluice all these things. So it creates other services within the value chain. And that is why you can get 7,000, 5,000, 8,000 people being employed at a go. That all takes time within the stages, because now when they open the operations, these guys will have to bring the ore out. You sometimes even need issue of transportation. You need issues of people doing maintenance, those who will be selling the spares for them. And you have all those around the same vicinity that the mining is taking place. Yeah, sustainable mining comes when there's proper management of environmental issues and looking at the future generations and all that. So what we need to do is to continue to educate the miners, sensitization, making sure that they adhere to the rules and regulations. It's not just getting a community management launch. We don't do any evaluation of what they are doing and leave them. And at the end of the day, there should be continuous monitoring. And if you watch the community mining documents or the mining document that they have in there are so many things that have been put in place. We should ensure that they adhere to those regulations.
Godwin Amma is the General Secretary of the Small Scale Miners Association. And just before we go, the Ghana Education Service Directorate in the whole West District of the Volta region is allegedly charging teachers 200 Ghana cedis each to facilitate their promotions. Information available to Citi News suggests the teachers are supposed to hand over the said amount in a white envelope to their respective head teachers, who will then pass it on to the GES promotion supervisors. The promotion supervision, as per Citi News sources, is expected to commence next week, and it is anticipated that over 100 teachers will need to make the said money available and be prepared to teach as part of the process. According to some teachers in the districts, the situation has placed them in an uncomfortable situation. Fred Duho has excerpts from a WhatsApp message circulated to the teachers. We'll bring you that audio in a later bulletin. But that's it for the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studio here in Adabraka, here in Accra. My name is Inosafo, and I was here with
Charles Owusukumi.
For more news, do log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News with Ni Latte. Many thanks for tuning in. Do enjoy your day.